Hi, I wanted to take a little bit of time to orient you to the Imaginal Waypoint video series because it's likely a little bit different than the conversation you're used to having in the leadership, personal development, or even organizational change realm. So, part of the core of my Imagine framework has to do with the idea that we are part of a collective experience. We are always in a sort of co creation with the other people, the other communities, and the collective consciousness is one way to put it. There are themes, just like seasons that move through. If you think about how you navigate life, and you'll notice that there's certain times where there's a little bit more road rage, or you notice that a lot of people around you are going through breakups or endings. Often that can be somewhat explained by some archetypal theme that's moving through the collective. Now, I want to be really clear. These videos are not meant to be prescriptive. They are not meant to say this is definitely going to happen or you should make sure this happens. It's nothing like this. But what I've learned spending decades in the personal growth space is that when we expand our awareness and our intelligence to these deeper, larger themes moving through the human experience, we gain choice. We gain choice when we look at, for example, let's say we're talking about seasons. I'm going to use a very simple example to illustrate the why of these videos. If it's spring, in my part of the world, spring often means rain showers when you least expect it. So if I were to say we're moving into spring, there could be a sunny morning and then out of the blue, a rain shower might pop up. You then have choice. You have a sense of this might happen. This might be a theme that I'll work with for the coming weeks or months. How do I want to meet it? You might bring a rain jacket. You might plant some flowers. You might make sure you put your houseplants outside because you just have a sense that today's the day the rain is going to come. You get to tap into greater choice rather than being caught off guard. So, these themes may show up in your life, your work, your relationships. They may not. We all have a different and unique relationship to these themes. Much of what I will be talking about is based on what are called the gates in the human design chart. Now, human design is full of a lot of lingo, and part of what I'm here to do is demystify that and just break it down to what actually matters so you don't have to learn all the lingo. But for those of you who want to know where this is coming from, all of us have a personal human design chart based on when we came into existence. There are 64 core universal human themes. We all have a relationship to all of them. Now, some of them show up in our chart in really important places, which means we'll have a special relationship to that. So we have this internal relationship with these themes that is unique and special. And similar to something like the seasons or something like astrology, there's also a collective experience. So I have my own relationship with winter and what that means to me. And I also am in a town and a region that has its own experience. We might have, like I have Leo in my chart, but there's also Leo season that moves through. And those just come with archetypal themes. So these videos speak to that broader thematic movement in the collective. And what I have found is people, regardless of how open or not they are to this sort of tool, right? Because human design can feel a little weird. When I name the themes, it tends to be really affirming. It tends to validate some aspect of their experience, and it tends to give them a greater sense of awareness and choice. So I encourage you, as with everything I put out, take what resonates, take what feels helpful, try to keep an open mind. And then whatever doesn't land, whatever doesn't resonate for you, whatever doesn't feel like a yes, chuck it in the metaphorical recycle bin. I don't have attachment. I just know that this has been so helpful in my individual conversations with people that I was called to put it out collectively so that those of you who are really hungry for waypoints, right? Waypoints on a journey are the point where you pause and orient. And that's what these are meant to do is they're a moment to pause, to assess your relationship with whatever that theme is, and then hopefully if it shows up in your life, be more prepared. And if it doesn't, it was still a helpful reflection point. So I'm glad you're here. I hope these serve you. Please, if it really lands, share it with the people in your world who may also need a bit of affirming support and guidance because some weeks of life are easier, some are more growth inducing. And so it will be a sense that we're all sort of evolving and on the adventure together. I'm glad you're here.